expanded team over time. I'm Kellyanne Harris, for any of y'all that don't know who I am. And I know we have some guests on Zoom. Can you all hear me okay? Can somebody give me a thumbs up? Julie, okay, perfect. So I made this class raw. I feel like this is one of the biggest struggles that teams have because they ebb and flow, right? And you can have a lot of team members and then you go down with them, and it's hard to kind of keep your head going straight throughout that process. So, and I could probably teach on this for like 4 hours, but we're going to just do about an hour and a half today. Here's my organizational chart. This is my world. This world got really big, really just over the last, this is weird, like doing this. Maybe I should stay here. Okay. This world really just kind of got big over the last 5 years for myself. But this doesn't happen without really good operations, without really good people, and really good systems. And I'll talk a little bit about implementation. So I have 3 Keller Williams Market Centers. I have a property management company. I have a flipping company. I have commercial investments. And then my recent growth has been my expansion network. And just last year during COVID, I was able to expand into 4 additional market centers in the state of Kentucky and then 1 in Indiana. So that's something that I've been really, really enjoying. Go ahead.
Would you share the slides? I mean, like, are you able to after we're done?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And everybody, I'm speaking Keller language. So like if there's something you don't understand, just ask me. Sometimes I get caught up in our own world and don't translate that well. So, and I don't tell you all this stuff to impress you. I always say I tell you this to impress upon you, because you can really honestly be anywhere you want to be in 5 years. It's all about implementing it. It's all about getting good people, keeping your head up, and not getting discouraged if someone doesn't make it through, right? Because I've had lots of people come and go. Who you start with might not be who you end with, right? So I did this. This is kind of my timeline. 2006, a little bit about me. And I know a bunch of y'all know me, so sorry if you have to hear this spill again, but I know there's a lot of people that don't know me that are on Zoom and in the class. So 2006, I graduated from Western Kentucky University with dietetics and exercise science. I was going to be a dietitian. Now it's just a hobby that I enjoy. And when I was at Western, I was working as a Miller Lite girl, making $20 an hour, loving life, giving out free beer. So then my manager at the time got in a bar fight, got fired. So they came to me after I graduated college and asked me if I wanted to be a manager. I was like 21 years old, didn't really know much about leadership or management, but learned really fast. I managed about 20 girls over the state of Kentucky and all the on-premise restaurants and bars. So I learned really fast how to communicate to people, no matter who they were. And that was something that I probably wasn't exposed to in college or getting raised. So that was really neat because it really taught me how to communicate to, I'll say in Kentucky, all walks of life. I had my son in May of 2009. I'm still working for a distributor for Miller, and they laid me off about 6 months later. The beer industry went to crap, just like the real estate industry. That, and I had a baby now, so that probably was a little bit more difficult to be on the road. So laid off, got my real estate license. Fast forward, I started at Coldwell Banker, was there about 3 months, went to RE/MAX, was at RE/MAX for about 6 years. But in 2013, I was the #1 agent in my MLS, out of about 200, and at that time, I think we had 250 realtors. So that was pretty great. The guy that had been the #1 agent in my town forever, Steve Kaplan, he had that spot, him or his dad, for over 50 years. And so it was pretty, I was 27 years old at the time. So that was, and a female, no offense, men, but that it's a hard thing to try to gain territory and have them respect you at 27 years old being a female. So that was, I had sold 110 homes my third year in real estate. 2014, I was the #1 RE/MAX agent in the state of Kentucky, and I did 142 units with one assistant. But I was not being a good mama. So he got me, but didn't get me, right? Like I wasn't present or anything. And so I was kind of spinning, had gone out to Phoenix. I was invited to a retreat with the lead agents of RE/MAX in the nation, and just kind of got good with the Lord, and was asking, like praying a lot, and was asking the Lord to answer some prayers. Started the team. Wasn't really functioning well under that model. I found myself giving away a lot of money and going backwards really fast. We did 185 units the last year at RE/MAX, and I had 3 buyers agents and hired off. So I went from selling 142 homes to 185 homes with 3 buyers agents. And if you ran a team before, that can be super non-profitable, right? Because now I'm giving out cost of sale. You might like to whoever's talking. I'm giving out cost of sale, and that's when I was telling you, like, I didn't really know what I was doing, so I was give, and it wasn't a give and take relationship. So I was depleting all this stuff I had built for so long, right? So that's why we have to make sure that we grow a team correctly, or it's not going to make sense in the long run. So then I guess my prayers got answered, because I wasn't getting the resources or the mentorship or the coaching that I needed. So I was introduced to Myra Oliver, she was the regional director at the time. And I learned about this company called KW. Didn't really know much about them, because in my town they didn't exist. So fortunately, I was given the opportunity to open up the first KW in my hometown. That year, we opened up KW with some of my core people, which was awesome. The team did 205 units and opened a market center, opening a market center is probably one of the hardest things I've ever done, because you got to recruit like crazy, and Tracy knows what that feels like. It's really hard. So really proud of my team. I know we didn't grow but maybe 20 units, but we also took on another business, which was amazing in that time. 2017, team didn't really grow much. I was still trying to figure out the OP hat, still trying to figure out the leadership hat, how to balance everything. So the team, I had some fallout at that time, and we'll talk about that. I had some bad apples, I guess you could say, some people that weren't going to grow with me, probably didn't have the same vision. So the team went backwards by 1 unit. I know it's not much, but it felt like going backwards, because we literally got rid of like 4 people that year. 2018, opened up my second KW, about an hour northeast of me in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. It's right outside of Louisville. Launched that market center. That market center is going to outgrow my original market center, just because it's got a bigger opportunity. So that one's great. We did 248 units that year. That year, 2018, I really took myself out of production. I think that year I only did about 25 units. I say only, but I'm extremely leveraged with my administrative staff. So it's really not a lot of hours in the week. And I was able to do a lot of leadership. 2019, I landed in y'all's lap. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but y'all got stuck with me.
You better say it's a good thing.
But anyways, I got introduced to you all, and Kentucky came to Ohio. So that year the team did 204 units. We went backwards in 2019, really because I kept taking myself farther and farther out of production. I was doing more commercial stuff at that time. It's crazy. I see the unit count. But at that time, my GCI actually went up that year because I was doing commercial real estate and took over the opportunity here. So 2020, last year, was a huge year for us. We did 285 units, and we started expansion in 4 market centers. So that was what I did at home base. I wanted y'all to see home base. Home base went up, but we did close the year out at 385 homes last year. This year we have already sold 225 homes year to date. So, and we're on pace to do about 700 to 800 homes under the network. So pretty explosive growth. We're at 348%. And it's pretty awesome. We want to go in more places. So that's my story.
Point this way. Here.
This is good, yeah.
Okay.
Got it? Okay, mindset. So I want to talk about this first.
I gotta keep moving this over.
No, you're fine. So I think this is the struggle that team owners have. We either have a mindset that people are going to come work for us, that it's going to be glorious, that it's going to be all roses and flowers, right? And to be honest, leadership, I'm sorry, right in front of that, leadership's tough. Leadership makes you cry at night in the shower. So, I mean, I'm just being truthful. You have to wake up every day to serve the people that you decided to go into your world. And you have to wake up every day to give them more opportunity. And it is not a relationship where they work for you. You now work for the people that you employ, and you now work for the people that come onto your team. And I think that a lot of people that go into a team think, oh, this is my way to make more money, and they just think that they're going to live off their teammates. And that is actually the absolute opposite. You actually will go backwards the first few years unless you can figure out a way to double your production instantly, or you're either going to sacrifice time or you're going to sacrifice money, right? And the time to get the money, that means you're going to have to work double because you're going to have to lead people, and you're going to have to train them, and you're going to have to do production, right? And so what you focus on expands. So if you're focusing on your people, what's naturally going to happen? Your own production is going to go out down the drain. So just something to think about. So I put mindset out here because I think a lot of people are misled. I feel like I'm right in the camera. Misled on this. I started a team because I was drowning, and I was not being the best mom that I thought I was put on this universe to be, and I felt that something had to give. So I did it more of to get my time back because I had so much business. Now everybody starts a team for a different reason. Sometimes the other reason I think that we should start teams is to have a business, right? Because heaven forbid something happened to us, a car accident, whatever, cancer, anything can happen to us, and we're not able to go show property. What's going to happen, right, to your business? It's going to go down. We've all seen that, right, with realtors that have gotten in and something's happened. I'm sure we all know someone. So you want to have an asset that's going to produce you business. I think a lot of people will never get to that point because they're control freaks. And nobody will get to that point because our ego's too big and we think nobody can do it as well as us. And the truth is people actually do it better than me now. A lot better than me. I'm actually, for some reason, last month, because I have been home more because of COVID, and I haven't been on the road, missed you all, but you all hadn't seen a lot of me because obviously we're all cooped up in our houses. I was at home, so business, like, it's crazy because I did 11 listings last month. Well, I'm like, how the heck did that happen? Well, it's because I was at home and I was focusing on clients, right? So, anyways, I think that I really think you have to have a different mindset, and you have to think through. You have to really think of like why you're starting a team. So, what's some reasons other than those two that you all want a team?
I enjoy other people. I'm not alone.
Right.
I like to link arms with people and with common thoughts and common goals and help other people in what we're doing. So I always like to do things with other people more than I like to do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Leverage yourself.
Leverage. So time. I think time's the biggest thing. Amy?
I think for us is, you know, we're married.
Yeah.
We see each other all the time, not all the time, but, you know, just for us having that outside person to give ideas and bounce ideas off of, because when we work with husband, it tends to be a little bit of group thing. Like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, but having that outside person to bring in a different perspective, I think is extremely helpful.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that, on how you've got to really operate it as a team and not as, this is my team and it's my way, right? So collaboration. Will you see this video of life? Is there a little link on it? No? Okay. Well, this talks
Do you
about,
want me to try to get it?
is there a link on the slide? There should be a link.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
No, it's not dynamic.
See how it has a little star? So you click that. No? Okay.
That's just an animation, sure.
Yeah, it has a link. Anyways, I have a little video to show y'all that I did this at my vision retreat, because we have to, what's a fixed mindset? Y'all know, like, what, Rashad, you laughing?
My 8-year-old daughter did that.
What did you tell us?
I turned on this, she explained it.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
What's a fixed mindset? What's an example?
My way or the highway.
Yeah. It won't work in this market.
That's not how we've always done it.
Right? Nobody can do it as good as me, right? What's a growth mindset? Yep. What's a benefit mindset?
Just win, how can we all win?
Yep. And then, yep, that's it. Okay, well, the video talks about that. It's a cute video, so you can see it. Okay, so this is, the next is, how do you grow a team? You got to have a big vision. I think one of the reasons why I've been able to keep some of my core people is because I recruited them to a vision, right? In our market center, when we bring agents on, we're recruiting them to a bigger life that they can have, right? You got to recreate the same thing in your team, no matter what that is. And you have to show the opportunity, because no one's going to join you if they think they're going to stay stagnant, right? And they may join you just to kind of get off the ground, but then they're going to take up a lot of your time, and then they're going to go to the next opportunity because your world didn't get big enough. And so one thing that I have always done on my team is had a big world for my people. Because I think back to my RE/MAX days, and I mean, back then, I mean, he lost me. And he lost me because he couldn't keep providing a bigger world for me, and I had to go figure out more opportunities for myself, because I was going to be bored, and I knew I could conquer the world. I mean, I have that fieriness inside of me. So that man, he's a great man, but I always use that as my example, because I'm like, if I'm me and my team, and I have a leader, I better provide opportunities for them to get bigger, make more money to fund their why, right? And I talk about money a lot, and Christina and I were talking about this, and I would say I do like money, and everybody's like, well, money doesn't provide happiness. Money provides options, right? And so in a way, it can provide happiness, because you do know a lot of people that are happy that don't make a lot of money, but if you don't make a lot of money, it can also not make you happy, right? Because you can't pay your mortgage and can't pay your bills. So I always say money, and we hear this with KW, is money provides options to be able to do things that you want to do in life, all right? So you got to have a vision. Your vision doesn't have to be as big as mine, but your vision needs to be big enough for the people that you bring into your world and what they want. And this is important. I think also we hire people because, oh my gosh, Christina, you have really cute shoes. You want to come? want to come? And we don't really get to know if they're on the same track as us. And then we get frustrated because they're not working as hard, right? And I know a lot of people's maximum might be my minimum. And I got to realize as a leader, do I want that on my team or do I want something more? So we really got to know, we need to know people, not just because they got cute shoes or they go to my church or they went to high school with me or what. We got to figure out what makes them churn, and we got to make sure they're on the same financial thermostat as you, or they're never going to be happy with you. I love agents that have never been in this industry. Why? Why do you think I love new agents, Tracy? Yeah. And they've probably never made this income before in their life, right? And they don't get caught up on the splits because, let's be honest, existing agents get caught up on splits. Well, I don't care what the split is. I want to see how much money I'm taking home at the end of the day, right? So if I could tell you that you're going to make $150,000 your first year, would you care what your split is, Christina? No. See what I mean? And we get so caught up in these little, that's not thinking like a business owner. That's not at all. If you can articulate that to a teammate, you can prove to them that they're going to make more money on your team, you'll get them all day long. Y'all, a bunch of y'all think I'm crazy because my team's on 40-60. We're on 40-60 throughout the whole state. My teammate gets 40, the team gets 60. But my teammates make 6 figures. There's a difference. And in the state of Kentucky, in the average sale price was $155,000. Now the average sale price in my town is $200. Just went up like crazy amount. But it was $155. But I will go neck and neck with any team in my town, any team in all those markets, and I promise you I give them better value, better leadership, and better leads, and a better life. And they make 40-60. My expansion partners, so my expansion partners have partnered with 2 mega agents that were both producing $20 to $30 million of real estate, which is about 100 to 150 units. Both of them partnered with me last year. Everybody's like, how did that happen, Kelly? Because everybody's like, expansion, you know, I got to be partners, so I got to share profit. Well, I could show them how they could get where I am really fast and double their income. So they don't care to be partners with me if we're going to go faster. So that's what I'm saying is, you know, even mega agents will think like that because we all got, you know, strengths and weaknesses, right? So have a big vision. What does that look like? So you don't want to do expansion. I get it. Expansion's super hard. That's we learned today, that's the 5th model in the new MREA book, is expansion. And it's you know, most of y'all know me, like I got to have a challenge constantly. So I had to figure that thing out. So, and I really like it, but it does expose us. All right. So, where I was going with expansion or with vision is it could be you want to sell your team to them one day. You want to give them a percentage. You want them to be the listing agent. That's what I'm talking about on vision. Where are they going to go from where they go in? And then you've got to, y'all saw my organizational chart and you'll see a little bit more. You got to show them the path, right? Because it's crazy because when you put a vision in front of someone and they see that there's an opportunity, they're going to go work harder for that. But we spit it out. And unfortunately, sometimes we end up over-promising and under-delivering because we don't show them the steps on how to get from A to B to C, right? Have a mission statement. So our mission statement in our expansion network is to be the company that provides opportunities for every world to get bigger. Does that say right? For everyone's world to get bigger. Yeah, so that's kind of my motto. I've always said that. Just because I always am like, man, he lost a good one. And so that's kind of what has inspired me to keep growing. Oops, go back.
Now your clicker is working.
Okay.
Okay.
I know, I got it.
It wasn't, now it is, and now we're both clicking.
Our vision, now this is our expansion network. So pretty much now my hub went into another umbrella. And we are empowering empires, taking territory, and we're creating CEOOO. That is our vision. So now I'm recruiting, I know I can recruit agents to a team. Now I'm recruiting megas to come into business with me so I can help them get here. Okay? So now my vision's changed. What's that kind of escalated? So here's our organizational chart today. I know it's pretty much gotten huge. And again, it's crazy. Y'all think that this is like tons of work. Don't get me wrong, the operations side has been tons of work. But who I have direct relationships with today are Kelsey, Trish, Justin, and Denise just got an opportunity. And then my 3 network employees. So, and then they run their teams in their locations. So that's what we look like today. And that's why I tell you, I promise you, you can, if you want this, you can be here. If you don't want this, you can still have a fantastic organization at your home market center. Like always. I mean, sometimes that's super lucrative. So here, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the vision. See how so I encourage you all, if you have teams and you're recruiting, make this. Show them where it's gonna go. Before I even had all this, I was showing them this. Yeah, I was showing them this. So it looks different, obviously. Now I'm showing people when we bring them in, and then what a great recruiting tool to show them, because now so Denise was, she's in my main team in Owensboro, Kentucky. That girl will do about 100 transactions this year. How do I keep someone like that on my team, right? A lot of people ask me that. They're like, and a lot of y'all, Kelsey taught here. That's another one. She did 115 units last year. Everybody's like, how do you keep a producer like that on your team from going out on their own? Well, I keep them because I keep showing them how they can go start these other businesses with me, or go into new territories, or get promoted, whatever it is. Denise is the next in line. She's like, I'm going to do more than Kelsey. So I think this year she will outsell Kelsey, because Kelsey's going into leadership. She wants to kind of scale back. I think she wants to have babies soon. So Denise will beat her. And it's like a thing now, because now teammates are doing 100 units. So Denise is going to do over that. But because of that, she's another one who kind of pushed me to kind of create opportunity. And so now she's going into Evansville, Indiana, which is right across the bridge from us, which we hadn't gone into. And she is now going to start her own team in Evansville, Indiana. See what I'm saying? I'm giving them opportunity so that they don't leave me. If I did not grow, I would have lost both of them. Go ahead.
When you start an expansion team, what are you providing to that agent to get them to use your referral?
So, like
what do you provide?
for like the network,
Like why? Yeah, like how do you get a mega?
how do I get a mega?
But like, what do you provide? That like, do you come in and train and teach them?
Yeah,
how to
I
build a
manage
team?
on my megas for my expansion now. That little business, I coach the mega. I manage all their money. Like I do all their bookkeeping and their accounting, the state of model. I recruit for them. Like I have a hiring department to recruit agents, and I have an ISA department, and I manage all their staff. So I literally am doing the same thing I would do for an agent. I get them doing nothing but leading and listing and doing that. So I took the model from the team and I turned it into a model for the mega.
Okay.
Makes sense? Okay, then you've got to have core values. If you don't have these things, you need to. We worked on this together as a team at one of our vision retreats. You've got to have a vision retreat every year to set. Now that we've gotten bigger and we're in different locations, we're now going to have like a halfway through the year retreat. So make sure you go away with your team, have a fun day, have a planning day, do something to like get everybody recharged. Do that usually in October because, right, everything in real estate shows up 90 days later. Well, hell, now KW Care is 25 bucks. I have a potty mouth. So, but now everything in real estate is showing up, what, 6 months later? would y'all say? So when do you need to set your goals? Right. So maybe you need to do the vision retreat now. Because back then, like 2 years ago, it was everything shows up 90 days later. So what I mean is you start working a client in October, that's not going to produce commission until January. So you've got to get ahead. So take your team off site, do a fun little adventure day, then do a planning day. If you want my vision retreat PowerPoint, I can give it to you. Rip off and duplicate whatever I'm doing. We love our vision retreats. Like, our people cannot wait to do it. I think this year we're going to go to Nashville, but we are having a mid-year just because expansions kind of tested us of being digital and on Zoom. We need to get our people together more. All right, this is another big reason that my coach posted this other day, that teams don't work. We have all these ideas, and it looks like this, and it takes us forever to get there, and it sucks, and we cry at night in the shower alone, and
You keep saying that.
I did that a few times.
I'm getting worried about you.
I did that a little bit through COVID, I'm just not gonna lie, and through expansion, and then it takes us forever to have the implementation. Most people don't even get here, because we might not have the right talent hired to get us there, because we only have so many hours in the day. So this is without systems, and then with system ideas and implementation. How you operate as a mega cannot be how you operate as a team owner at all, because we fly by the seat of our pants, our hair's on fire, we write Post-it notes that get lost. We can manage it. Are you okay, Joe? We can manage. Did I get you? We can manage everything in our head. Like, I was really good at managing all that 100 deals. What I wasn't good at, it was passing the buck to my admin. I sucked. I mean, I was coaching one of my megas this morning because he joined us, I think it's been 7 months, and we're on the second phase, halfway through the second phase on implementing TC management in his location. And I was like, the thing you're going to have to change is you're used to ordering the inspection, you're used to making sure the appraisal, sending the contract to the lender, you're used to all that stuff. And the minute that you don't have your admin do that, you've just demoted your admin and told her that she doesn't do a good job. So you've got to get your agents on board with giving everything to them and not doing anything. And then you have to train the mad co-op agent not to contact you, but to contact the admin, right? So that's another whole thing, because you don't want to piss off the co-op agent. You just have to politely train them, and I promise you, they'll get it. They may be mad in the moment, but they will get it to start contacting your admin. So you got to start getting that stuff, because that co-op agent is just frustrated for the moment. I promise they're going to forget about it in a couple of weeks. But the other thing is, that's not making you any more income to make your team bigger, right? And so you need to just say, hey, politely, hey, my administrative staff's going to reach out to you. Then you got to make sure your administrative staff does it fast, right? Because everybody wants instant. All right, so how do we build a business that people want to stay? Leadership. What time is it? I just want to make sure I'm
1:42.
okay.
We're halfway.
Great, that's good point to be in. So leadership. I never took this lightly. So we all have some kind of trauma through our childhood. Well, I think maybe just me. Okay, well, anyway, we all have some kind of issue, right? And we have to work through, because how we were raised as a child, even though I had great parents, but there's always something that kind of shows up in our adulthood on how we're raised, right? So I decided to get really good on becoming the best version of me and start with counseling. And so when I decided that I had to go start leading people, I was like, well, why do I pop off like that? Well, why do I say this? Like, those little things that are the control freak in me. I was honestly a big control freak back then, because my people loved me, my clients did, and I was so afraid that I was going to lose them. And I was like, oh my gosh, they loved me. But then I was like, I've got to figure out how to train my staff so they love my process and they don't just love me, right? So that was a big hurdle that we had to work through. So I always say, get a coach, start learning about yourself on what happened. This is the hardest part of this journey. Working on yourself, this is the hardest work of all of it, because we aren't natural born business owners. We're not natural born leaders. We have to become better leaders every single day. I make mistakes, Tabitha, all the time. And I have to become a better me every day. And I have to be like, oh, that hurt. You know, Kelsey will tell me sometimes, she's like, I'll hear her be like, it's your way or the highway. We're like, oh crap, how did that come off? Like when I hear that, I'm like, okay, something I said came off the wrong way, because it shouldn't be my way or the highway. I want her to feel like my partner. So I have to kind of expand on that, right? I also am female, so I'm into all the emotions and making sure everybody's okay. So leadership, get a coach. You can't, Jack is like, care
The female
about
thing hits
feelings.
home.
if you're a man and you don't care about feelings, you need work too, okay? Because you need to figure out how to work with women, all right? Your face. All right. Two, listen, his face is red. Listings, which leads to leads. No, everybody always thinks I'm talking about them, and I'm like, I have no clue what's going on in your world. I'm just talking, because it's probably going on in my world too. Listings, which leads to leads. So this is a struggle right now, right, in our industry. You cannot start a business if you have a team unless you are a strong listing agent, guys. Like, it's not gonna work. Why? Because you're gonna have to pay a lot of money for leads. And that is going to take your profit so down, and that is ridiculous, okay? You have to learn how to get listings. I know we're struggling right now keeping them on the market, and we've never seen this market before. So what I have to wake up every day is, okay, my team took 10 listings, I'm just saying a number, 10 listings last month. How am I gonna make sure my teammates eat, right? So what does Gary say? You should get 3 leads off every listing. Well, we know we're getting that, but those leads aren't leading to contracts. We need those leads to end up leading to listings. So what do I need to do? I need to figure out a marketing strategy where we get listings off our listings. So I had to get purposeful through this thought process. So what we did is, now we only list homes unless it's like, I know you get that deal where you got to get their home sold fast because they got one under contract. I'm not talking about that deal, but I'm talking about the listings that you can kind of pace, right? Y'all do a lot of staging here, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So y'all can pace when those go live, correct? Like you can control it. Okay. You can slow it down. So slow it down. I know the NAR says 24 hours in MLS, correct? Y'all abide by that. So do it coming soon on Facebook. Get leads, give them to your agents, right? Then put it live. Don't show it. Don't do anything unethical. Don't do anything that you wouldn't do. But that's how you're going to drive leads, okay? Then put it on MLS. Then do an open house. Then don't look at offers till Monday. Now, a lot of people are like, is experience bad for the seller? Well, you're probably going to tell your seller to go get a hotel room for the weekend, right? So that's how we had to slow down and be like, we ain't throwing stuff on the market because we're losing listings. So our open houses started producing us listings, because what would happen was they'd come through the open house and they got something to sell. So I know every market's different. I'm just telling you what we did in Kentucky. Is anybody doing anything like that to drive listings?
We are doing something similar to that, and we're figuring it out. I mean,
You got to pivot.
yes, we're figuring it out, but that is, and it's been hard because Jill is a listing, and she, in different markets, we run different ways, and we always do a session with sellers. We want to get things on the market offers and have that in the event because they're running around with their head cut off.
Yes.
And then you have this one offer that you don't even know if that's gonna be the best offer.
Right.
And then everybody's frustrated anyway, so,
So I can see it both ways.
yeah, I,
I will tell you that my co-op agents, when we started doing that, was like, thank you so much. You just saved me. I don't have to run and go jump and do this. So I got that a lot. On the flip side of that, what's the experience for the seller? So you need to talk to your seller, like, are you willing to have people run through your home all weekend? You know, like, do what's best for your seller, but that's how we kept driving leads in so that my people would be able to eat, because it's a hard day to be a buyer's agent, right? Now, for the buyer's agent, that's not always the best, because that's 4 days of it being on the market and you're competing with 500 offers. See what I'm saying? So, but you gotta figure out a way to get more listings. And we're getting a lot of listings from open house because we're starting those relationships. And I heard Ben Kinney say that when someone's coming through an open house, they're like, you're here for 2 reasons. Either you're a neighbor trying to figure out what your home's worth, or you're here to buy a house. Which one are you? So ask for what you want, and that's how you're gonna find out if they're a neighbor trying to figure out how they should price their house. Any other tips in the room on how you're getting listings? Christina, you've been killing it on these listings. Why?
I've actually been focusing on people with money. Like, I don't know if that sounds bad. But like, they can go somewhere, like, they can do a bridge loan, or they can afford to like go to Florida for the winter, or like, or for the summer, because it's really hard to do both, right? We all know it's hard to do both right now and manage it. So I've kind of geared away from the first time home buyers just because, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I just kind of switched the way that I was thinking a little bit
Yeah.
and started going towards people that are going to downsize or
You start
something
calling
like
your
that.
database,
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Yeah. but you hated it when I first told you to.
I know. That was the only thing Ashley Bachmeyer told me to do, was to create a database. It was the greatest thing that I ever did.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So you gotta get listings before you start a team. Guys, you're gonna make them starve if you don't have listings. I promise you. Hire yourself a coach. I cannot stress that enough. I have 2 coaches. I have an expansion coach and a leadership coach, and I have a counselor. So, this job is hard, y'all. Like, I ain't lying. Like, it's hard. So, it's not to take lightly. I mean, every day I wake up and try to be better. So, be serious about it. You can't get anywhere in life by yourself. You gotta have people that are helping you. Leverage so they can focus on the 20. So, don't just hire a buyer's agent without administrative support, because the only value you got is the leads, and right now it's hard. I do think that Gary is predicting teams is the way to go in the future. I think you're gonna see more and more people joining teams because they want a better lifestyle. They want more leverage, and they want value, and they don't care what their splits are, as long as they can make a good living. That is where the future is going. I really, really, really believe that. So if you can figure out value to your agents, your team's gonna go super, super far. I promise, I really think that that's where it's going. I was telling somebody the other day too, they were like, how's the market? Isn't it awesome? I'm like, yeah, but the experience sucks. I was like, it sucks for everybody. It sucks for me, the agent, because I feel like I'm on edge 24/7. It sucks for the seller because it's chaotic, and it sucks for the buyer because they're on an emotional roller coaster. It's like, I wish it would just level out. So I think right now you're going to see agents grasping for air, joining people because they want to go towards the next shiny object, thinking that that's going to fix the problem, when it's really not going to fix the problem, because they need to fix their own problem.
Question, do you think that teams are gonna struggle as just designated people as a buyer's agent, like for like the market that we're in now, and buyer's agents start making, you know?
I think it's
money?
I think we do both. We allow our
Do
agents
both.
to do both.
Okay.
The model says
Do you think it's
different,
gonna switch to
but the
that?
model was built in 2001.
Yeah.
We allow both. I know some teams that still operate differently, but Kelsey and I talk about it all the time. The struggle I have right now with some of my agents listing homes is they're not educated So we're babysitting through the listing process just because they don't have enough listing experience, right? That conversation with the seller is different than that conversation with the buyer because you're taking money from a seller versus not taking money from a buyer, right? So that conversation is different. So like Kelsey and I talked about on our team, they're gonna have to go through 6 months of training before they're gonna get to list homes. We're gonna give them that opportunity, but they better have a few under their belt, us mentoring them, because can they negotiate repairs? I mean, you gotta be a boss to take a listing. I know right now, you all don't have to do that because they're pretty much given everything, right, to the listing. But in Kentucky, we're still doing repairs on stuff. So when the market goes back, you know, that's a conversation that you gotta tell a seller, they gotta do something. Standards and expectations, we're gonna go over this to keep a productive culture. You can't have a come and go as you please. Just, you can, but your team's not gonna keep taking off, right? I'm here today, and y'all could disagree with how you run your teams. I'm just telling you how I got my team to grow and sustain, right? So you can't have a come and go atmosphere if you want growth. Don't want growth, that's fine. That's how you run it. Just know that you're probably gonna stay where you're at, all right? I'm showing you how to get like super big, super fast, all right? Include your people on decisions with teammates, TC, and 42 Touch. So I'm gonna talk about that. Don't make it a you show. Collaborate with your team. Ask them what they want, how they feel. We do surveys now. How are we doing? What could we improve? How's our communication? Do you feel like your TC is doing, do you feel leverage? Like, we ask those questions, and it's hard because we put those surveys in front of those people. But like, we're in, my staff, they wake up every day knowing that they're gonna serve the agent. And if they're not here to serve the agent, they're in the wrong seat because we are serving the agent every single day. Tackle drama immediately, listen to all sides. A lot of times, I remember in the beginning of my journey, I'd be like, oh, it'll just kind of go away. Like, just let them calm down. No. Because what happens is when we don't talk about something, we start to make up things in our mind, right? About what was said or what we heard or how someone felt. And so it's better, like, if you know drama's going on, you go straight there and you talk about it. Don't take sides. Sit there, bring both people into the room, ask both of people how they feel, sit there and try to mediate, go back through your culture, your values, and what you stand for, and try to understand both sides and get the person to understand both sides. Taking sides, not listening to the full story got me in a lot of trouble because maybe this teammate was with me for a little bit longer than this person. So I trusted this person more. I know that that sounds like common sense, but we just get caught up in it. So like, run to the drama, figure out, make sure they're okay, because it will just, I've seen it blow my team up too many times. I mean, I've been through a bunch of blow ups. I've been through a bunch of staff blow ups, and it just spreads like wildfire. I mean, it's just, coach your people weekly. You've got to sit down. You've got to talk about their goals. You got to look at their numbers. You got to care about them. You got to see where they're at accomplishing things. Go talk about it. I'm going to show you all that. Keep dreaming big for them. Pump them up. Tell them you believe in them. I'm a high D, like super high D. I think my I used to be high, but now I think it's down here because I'm just so driven. I got so many people to feed every day, right? I mean, I wake up every day and everybody depends on me to show up and do my job and lead them. So you've got to keep dreaming big for them. When they set goals, I take those seriously. They submit their goals to me, and we're going to hit them. It's a non-negotiable. And then you need to have a training program. They're going to write really bad contracts, bug the crap out of you if you don't train them good. So that's where I talk about balance. So I talked about celebrate people, how far they've come. At our vision retreat every year, we do a little exercise about how far did we come. We tend to get caught up in what's wrong today and not how far I mean, don't we all do it? Like, if you think back a year, like, oh my God, that was a huge year, but we're on to the next thing, right? And so we've got to think about how far we've come, and we can't get so caught up in just the moment, right? vision boards, do this with your team, hang them in your office, have a picture of them. We took like pictures of them and like framed them on our desk so that I can see, this stuff's important. Why do y'all think this is important to know, to do this?
You just look at it every day, you see,
Yeah.
you see it and remind yourself.
Yeah.
You got to be included in it.
Yeah, do vision boards. And then what's so neat is I get to learn something about my people when they do those. So now our team's gotten so big, we give them 2 minutes to talk on it, but we set them up in the room and on break, we go by and we kind of look, and it's crazy. I've been doing this ever since I joined KW, that's what I learned. And 2 people have left my organization because of their vision board, but it was because they went on to do something besides real estate. Like TJ, he was he used to do all my video, and he came to me and he was like, Paul, and he was like, Kelly, he was like, you know, I did my vision board, and it's a year gone by, and all my vision boards to open up my own business. I'm gonna go into my own videography. And I mean, like, I like cried. I'm like, oh my God, it's working. Even though I lost you, like, it's working. And then Mandy, my right hand, last week, it was emotional for me. She's been with me for 6 years. She came to me and she put in her 2 month and a half notice, 2 week notice, a month and a half, because she was a part of the foster program as a child. And on her vision board 5 years ago, she told me she wanted to start fostering children. She looked at it 2 years ago, but her kids were in high school and she wanted to wait till they got out. And it gives me chills talking about it. But she came to me and she was like, I'm going to go live out what I put on my vision board. And I was like, oh my gosh, like those things, like I was selfishly upset, but like I'm so happy for her because that's like what she wants to do. And we're getting really big, and she knew, she was like, my why's changed, and I'm going to do, if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it ever. So I see what I'm saying, like that stuff will start happening. Social media. So this is important. I just put my Instagram on there. I want agents to know like who I am, like that I'm a mom, that I like to work out, that I live on a farm. Like I want people to relate to me, feel that you all know me, I'm pretty authentic, I'm pretty real. I don't, Christina, I don't, you know, like I am very, but I feel that my personality attracts other people like me, and that's what I want in my organization. You can see my Instagram does not have a bunch of for sale houses on it. That is for my team page, because I want people to see the real me and say, hey, I might want to be led by her, right? Like she's somebody I want to go be in business with. And that's what I'm trying to, like, right, I'm on a growing business. I need good people to join my organization. So you can see I don't have any houses on here. It's all about my son, working out, baseball. I've got some real estate stuff, but I just want them to know I'm real. These are some committees we have on our team. Growth. These are our leaders of all of our cities. So we talk about recruiting. Obviously, you can't do all this in the beginning, but this is where you could get to, right? And if you don't have enough people on your team yet, you could do it, all these committees together. But this is what I'm talking about on involving your team to help you make decisions and having their input. I pretty much follow the market center model, right? Because in the market center, we have committees, and I'm also, and did y'all know that our committees in the market center are to teach you leadership, teach you how to leverage yourself, and you don't do all the work, but you have people and you're trying to group those people to help you accomplish a goal. They're not, they're not there for you to do the work of the job. They're there for you to learn leadership and how to lead people to a common goal. So I'm teaching my people how to do the same thing because they are my future leaders, right? And so that's why this stuff is important, is I'm trying to teach them leadership so that this thing keeps moving in a forward direction. Any questions? This is just a slide out of our vision retreat. We wanted client customer service, agent customer service, database. Our database was a mess. golly, that's been like a work in progress. It was just like all over. We finally did the D2D, yeah, that. Finally got that accomplished after like 6 years. So I might look great, but if you peel back my curtain, I got just as many things I need to work on because every year is like something new. Run the model. What's the time?
2 o'clock.
Oh, perfect. Okay, run the model. So this is the Harris Strobel Group out of Owensboro. So we set budgets based on what we did the year before. We don't set budgets on our goals. That is how you are going to lose money and not have any money. We will readjust every quarter if we're ahead of goal or we're behind goal. But we set our budgets and we run to model. They cannot spend money like I have Mandy with my network administrator. We run it just like a market center. So if one of the locations wants to spend money on something, it's not in the budget, they have to shoot me an email, I have to approve it, yada, yada, yada. I have to see like return on investment. We also, we keep track of this 24/7. I can't preach this enough. Telling Christina. So this is in the MREA. I show my rainmaker. So Kelsey's my rainmaker now. I call her, she's my head agent of the Owensboro location. I don't run my Owensboro location anymore. I run an expansion. So Kelsey and her team have to run the model. You can see here that we are running about, our partnership is running about 31% net profit. It would if we are, now you got to think we're paying ourselves out on commission deals. Me and Kelsey are on our own splits. We all pay into the company, and then we're still running to model at 1.2, 31%. Best practices you can see here. This is 26 and 28. So I was going to show you this over here. I don't know if you can change that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't know if they'll be able to hear you.
okay, that's fine. So this is also what people don't realize. I need all the markers. Okay. Alright. So what happened through this journey? So you go so this is how much gross commission income your team would make, and I take it all the way to 2.8. Okay. So the hardest hump is right here through this. So what will happen? Company on cost of sales. So usually if you're making about 190, okay, you don't have a buyer's agent, right? So your company, your company dollar is going to be super low. Yeah, it's going to be super low because you don't have anybody that you're employing, right, as a buyer's agent. So at this point, your company dollar stays here. Your company dollar actually increased. There's no way you can do this kind of volume by yourself. Now your company dollar is increasing. What I mean by that, I call it company dollar. It's called cost of sales. But I run it just like the market center, so I want to make sure I have the same language because I'm in two different businesses. That's how much you pay a buyer's agent, right? Or a listing specialist, or a showing assistant. So when you start off, you have little of that because all you're really paying is whatever your split is to the brokerage, right? And then it keeps increasing. What happens to your expenses in the beginning? In the beginning, you're supposed to run about 30, 30, 40, right? So 30% cost of sales or company dollar, 30% expenses, and 40% net profit. So you really kind of do this. And then kind of out, all right? So during this time when you're building that team and you start employing people, your expenses go up because you're starting to have administrative help. You're starting to have operations. You have people that are running your 42 touch campaign. You've got all these values. You're starting to get buyers agents. So you start having expenses. And this is why I tell you, you kind of go backwards in the beginning because you're putting so much money into your infrastructure. What I wish I would have done before I started a team is had 4 months of reserves set aside for my team. But what I was doing is just spending the money I was making. Now, when we go into expansion teams, me and my partners, we put up 3 to 4 months in the bank because I don't want to have that stress of, can we pay the bill? Okay, so I'm going to tell you, run it like a business, have 3 to 4 months before you even start employing. That way you're not like on edge and stressed out. I didn't know all that stuff. You got to think I wasn't running model in the beginning. What happens to your net income? This is the one that people don't get when you start down this journey. That one, please. Oh, no, sorry. That's supposed to be. I did these wrong.
The expenses are right.
No, it was supposed to be, yeah, you're right. This is correct.
Yeah, you just swap the other two.
Switch the other.
The cost of sale is blue on your line. Yeah.
Okay, here. Sorry. I guess they're trying to do it on my phone. Okay, what is it, $20? Alright. So what happens to your income? Nobody told me this when I started doing this. Not planned for it. So what happens is you start off, some of us are all the way up here. Okay? What, you don't like my friend? I know, it's how it goes. Why do y'all, I just said that, but why do you think that?
There's certain, like, marginal cost point you have to get to where once you have, you know, it's gonna cost you X to run 10 people on your team, it's gonna cost you barely more to run 15.
Right.
So once you grow, marginal cost is gonna decline.
Right. So because you're giving away your bars, you're giving away your listings, whatever that is, you've got expenses. And if you're gonna exist in this time, that's why I say that you've gotta have reserves. Nobody told me that stuff, but, you know, now you're getting to know that, you've got to know that it's gonna go down. Until you get about that 1.2 million or above, then it starts to really pay off. So how do you get, y'all gotta think, like, you gotta get there really fast. I stayed in this location for about 3.5 years. But I was running market centers and doing other stuff to help kind of offset that. But I needed to get, I'm very grateful I went through that. Should have had reserves, did not have reserves. We will not go into a new location now without it. We're practically like invested in a business. I think as agents, we just try to live off of commission check after commission check, and then we're at a pain point, then we hire someone, then we hire another person, and then we suffer. Tracy, have you seen teams do this? And that's why they yo-yo back to themselves.
It's really painful about a million,
Mm-hmm.
because they think they're gonna be rolling in it, and they're not.
Right. I feel like I just killed the brain. How do y'all feel? We all
Really,
know.
we're trying to just imagine based on each of our personal experiences, how that relates to us probably. I think you didn't kill me, just like digesting.
You gotta pay out expenses, you gotta start building your value.
So you just have to look at the bigger picture, like that just made me hurt. Well, why don't I just keep doing what I'm doing and.
You can, but then you can business is running without you.
That's what I mean, it's
Like
like
you have a
bigger picture, you have to like take a step back, not panic, and be like, this is why I want to do this.
Yes.
You try to get time back.
Exactly.
Other, whatever those reasons
Well, and
are.
remember, none of
Requires
those
a lot
lines,
of time.
none of those lines are total business income either. They're profit percentage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's the
So
other thing too.
This
Yeah.
is tough. When you get to this, I mean, you're running 40% net profit, which we are. We're running 40% net profit. Our rainmakers are in every location. But they doubled their income from this point, right? It's just this hump. This is the sucky hump.
So if you think about like, just say between the dash lines is like time.
Yes.
I mean, realistically, like, what do you need to be setting up prior to the first dash line to make that a shorter period of time, to make like the hurting
Okay.
point?
Standards, expectations, and leads. So I'm gonna go over that. Any more questions on that? And I can share all these charts. And this is my, P&L. This is my budget. I don't care to give it to you. Like, I'm open book. I run 2 models, so it's nothing that wouldn't be in that. All right, time management. So I'm gonna get into that question. So this is my calendar. I say have your day done by noon. If you're a leader and you're leading the team, or if you're in a leadership role on the team, whatever it is, have your day done in leadership by noon. Why?
I would say there's a lot of thinking that you have to do.
Mhm.
You obviously, when you're in a leadership role, a lot of what you're doing is influencing
Yeah.
and making connections and, just bringing people along. So if you're bogged down in work, I mean, it's all work.
Mhm.
If you're bogged down in work, you're not going to be able to be effective in making connections and
Yeah,
helping people really.
right. So what I did, were you ready to,
I was just gonna say thankful of it, man.
Yes.
You're done by-
That's exactly, because your hair's on fire about that, because everybody's like, do. So I still do production, and I went back into production when things kind of got a little bit more leveled out, and I was kind of getting the hang of this leadership thing. I was like, oh, if I do this and get my day done by Wednesday, my leadership role, I can get back into production. I couldn't because I didn't understand how to do that. So this is my calendar. So we start at 7 a.m. I'm early. That's 8 y'all's time. So that's usually why you catch me. Sometimes if I have an important meeting, it's 6:30 in the morning. But I know by 8 o'clock, my phone's going to start going off by co-op agents or whatever needs to happen. So I do have like a little bit of break. I have this little break in between. And that is really so that I can kind of, I don't do the huddles anymore, but because our team leaders do those, but I have about an hour to work in between that on any kind of transaction I'm doing. So I'm like putting out a fire, getting this contract over, sending my transaction coordinator a message. Like I need an hour either to get out the door or work on my personal real estate business, okay? Then I go right back into coaching, and I go the whole time till 1 o'clock, the whole time. And I do it on Mondays. I call them Millionaire Mondays. And now they're over to Tuesday, and now they're over to Wednesday because I got so many leaders now. But for a while, they were just Mondays, and now we just kind of try to work around them. And I have to be the best me. So they're going to get the best me on Monday or Tuesday. Wednesday, if we have to. I think we were on Wednesday. I switched to Tuesday because I was like, I need the best me for Tabitha on Monday or Tuesday. Because usually by the end of the week, I'm dead. We also dead by the end of the week. So how can I show up on Zoom, right? Because these aren't in person, and deliver a coaching experience. So if you all are coaching your agent, you need to be thinking the same way. And so that's why I say get it done on a Monday or a Tuesday. So I get done by 12 every day. And if she would have told, and then the only reason Thursday and Friday even has anything is we do financial reviews the first week after that. We close the month out every month, and we look at our financials the first week. Normally that would not be on here. It's just the first week because we're reviewing numbers and everything. I'm still coaching my agents on finances. That takes a while. I mean this, and most megas don't do their finances like we do. So I work really hard on getting them to understand the model and make sure they have a profitable business. So we're working on that. Any questions on that?
So you're doing your lead gen for your personal business and yeah.
I don't lead gen. So I'm in a place, so what my team is doing behind the scenes is they're lead genning every morning till 11 o'clock. I was gonna talk about that. So fortunately, I don't have to lead gen anymore. I have an ISA who calls my database, so I still get my database touched, but I have eliminated that, so I don't do any lead gen. The only reason I would do lead gen now Kelsey does. Kelsey lead gens every day. The only reason I would do lead gen is the team got down on numbers big time. But my admin or my ISA does my database. We touch it. We do 42 touches. Like they're calling me now automatically because of all the systems I have in place. So I don't have to.
Do you require your team members to come in and do lead generation?
I was about to go over that. So, any questions? Oh, Monday through Wednesday, pack yourself full of anything you have to do in leadership. Only fill 80% because the 20% of your time needs to be thinking time. My coach got me on that this year. She's like, you got too much stuff on your calendar. Quit meeting so much. She was like, you need to have white space because you need time to think. Like, go on a jog, go on a walk, go work out, do whatever it is. Like sit on your porch. Like, she was like, you cannot be creative and have the visionary thinking you have unless you have free time. We can't work to ourselves to death. This is our value proposition. I can give this to y'all. When we are bringing an agent in on a 40-60 split, this is everything we do for them, the value, how often they get it, and what it would cost for them to go recreate it. It's $181,000. So they get, it's called shared or shared talent. So like my staff, they get to use some of the best leadership staff and they get to share it, so it costs them little. And if they try to recreate that on their own, it would cost them the whole staff member, right? So now we get to share all these services and we get to empower ourselves to do what we need to do. So usually when I put this in front of an agent joining my team, you think they're gonna sign? Because they're like, oh my gosh, it would cost me that much? See what I'm saying? Like I'm articulating what all they're getting. Some of y'all have this from me, but I'm welcome to reshare it if you want it. But seriously, it probably costs more than that. But also, if you're building a team, I know you can't give all this right now, but you can start to, like this used to be like maybe this long, and then now it's doubled, you know, because we've gotten more people in the team. That's another thing is, throughout this process, I know I got 10 minutes, throughout this process, I've had teammates who had scarcity mindsets, who didn't want the team to grow because they thought that that would take their leads. It's the wrong mindset. I made sure I was really good. So I had to ask myself as a leader, do I not have enough leads? Do I have the wrong person? What, and then like, why are they saying that? Because more people leads to more value. I'm showing them that. And more people leads to more listings and more sales, and we can all achieve more. And I promise you that their businesses kept going up. The reason is because they were so like ready for that low-hanging fruit. They were grabbing the easiest stuff, and every time the team would get bigger, the standard expectations might have grown at that point, and they didn't want to do that standard or expectation. They didn't want to show up and lead yet. They didn't want to do that, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's change. And so now I don't even have that, like that doesn't even exist on our team. Our team is like, wants to recruit to the team because they know it's going to be more. So if you've got that going on in your team, you need to figure out, do you not have enough leads? Do you have the wrong people? Like, you got to figure out why people think that way, and then you got to go address it because you don't want it bleeding onto another teammate. Okay? Any questions on that? Talent search. We constantly are looking for talent. Like, this never stops. I think if it's on the next slide, we follow the KPA. Every single person on the team goes through the entire KPA process. We don't shortcut it at all. We do life story, we do motivation, there's a class on it. I've taken it like 7 times. I had Gabs master it because she does all the hiring now. And I offset it now, I finally did that. If you can't have a Gabs, then you can't have a Gabs. I'm just saying, y'all love Gabs, can't have her. If you don't, like when you get to a point, you can leverage that, but for now, you're gonna have to do it. Because you need to learn like what makes them tick. Do they have the big vision like you? Are they just gonna be okay with like minimal expectations? Like you need to find that stuff out. This is my job description. I'll share this with you. The Harris Java Group at Keller Williams is looking for rock stars who want to get started in real estate. No prior experience necessary. We have a 90-day training program to get you into business fast. However, you have to be willing to put in hard work. We can also help you get your license. Apply for more information. The Harris Java Group covers Owensboro and surrounding areas. Our agents' responsibilities include building their business and providing guidance to their clients during the real estate transaction. We have the ability to make up a 6-figure commission-based income. Sky's the limit. I've proven that now twice. Have a flexible set schedule, find the best free training and support, and we can help recommend our Kentucky real estate license. So we're filtering them. It takes this process, by the time they join us, is about 8 months. That's why you can't stop, because they have to get their license. It takes time. They have to pass the test. They have to quit the job. So we don't ever stop because we're looking to recruit 8 months to a year from now. We run our pipeline just like the market center. So each location has to do 10 appointments a month, and we need to grow 3 in our network a month. Let's talk turnover. Because turnover is going to happen. Most of the time they fall out in the 90 days before they even make it, and they'll move them to like be an independent agent in the market center. Because our program is super intensive, but I have a huge work ethic, and I cannot stand someone not at least trying to meet me in the middle. It's just not going to work. They're going to drive me crazy. It's not going to be a good fit for either one of them. They're probably going to think I'm crazy. So it's just not going to work. So they've got to match your energy. So we do have a high turnover. We are about 50%, and that is because they don't make it through the 90-day program. And I don't want them to come onto the team unless they pass the training program. They are not allowed on my team unless they do that. That's why we have a high turnover, because we make it so, we teach them the hardest part of being on a team, and that is lead generation. And for 90 days, they do nothing but lead generate, like every morning until 12. And because what I'm teaching them, I'm their leader, I've got to teach them how to survive. And if I can't teach them how to lead generate, who am I? Like, I've just set them up for not a good career, set them up for failure, not to be able to feed their family. And I take that so seriously. So if I can't teach them the hardest part of the job, they're not going to do good when shit gets real. Sorry, $50.
So if you put them in the training program and they're starting to lead generate and they're not on your team yet, how do you work those splits? Like if they start to, like, are they?
Well, they
generating
get a
every
small
year?
pay. They get, they'll get 20% of the lead if it closes.
Okay.
And then they're a showing assistant, and then they get like $25 for a nurture. They get another $25 for an appointment set. Like, there's all kinds of metrics that they have to hit to get through the program. I'm teaching them how to set appointments, how to get nurtures, and how to build a pipeline. So that when they get out of that training program, they're pinning 4 or 5 homes immediately. And then they're getting a little bit of income. Most places don't even pay you, and it takes you 6 to 9 months to even do your first transaction as a realtor. Heck, now I don't even know how long it takes me because the market's so tough. So we do have high turnover, but man, Tabitha told me the other day, she's like, you got to tell people, like, my team shows up to work. Like, we love each other, but we're working. I mean, we have the culture of we're gonna work hard, and we're gonna have a big life, and we're gonna have a great culture. But if you can't match our hustle, you don't belong. You may belong somewhere else, but this is our environment. And I don't, I mean, I would rather us find out in 90 days they're not gonna fit than a year whenever I've already got to know them, and it just breaks my heart even more because I want it more for them than they want it for themselves. So, yeah, I'm putting them through a lot, but I'm seeing what they're made of. I'm making sure that if we can't get listings, and thank goodness I did, because my agents are pending like crazy in this market, and I know it's hard right now, and you gotta think the agents that are struggling, it's because they probably don't know how to lead generate. So I'm teaching them the hardest thing. Thank goodness I did, because look at this market today, right? Our culture, we are constantly together. I mean, we tried our best during COVID on Zoom, but we're fun. I think we're fun.
Can't uncover everybody.
Yeah,
There.
these are some of our client events. Kelsey sold 100 homes. That was a record breaking. That is Gab's wedding. We have a lot of fun. Again, we do get some existing agents sometimes, but a lot of them are new. We will take existing. The problem I have with existing, I'm upfront with it, and I know we're going over. If y'all have to leave, that's okay. I'll keep talking. The problem with existing is I'm real with them. Hey, I know you've been doing real estate for a while. There's a reason you're joining my team, and evidently it wasn't working for you. You're gonna have to switch over to our model and our thought process, or it's not gonna work. I know you think that you might have known it before. You're about to learn a whole new world. And it's just a real conversation, and I'll let them join me, but I'm not gonna let them break what has been proven. Just because they think they do it, because there's a reason they're joining me. Accountability and standards. This is what I was telling you. So Tracy, we report in Monday through Thursday. We have huddle at 8 a.m., 9 o'clock Central. Our entire network is on the phone. You're welcome. Our entire network is on the phone. We report out this sheet, so everybody knows their numbers. It's what we do in bold, right? We do that in bold. So it's crazy because we had to think through, how do we get the same accountability and the same energy in another location? So this is what we did, because normally before COVID, we would have just had it in our room and we would have put it on the board. But now, and it works out because people are like dropping their kids off or something's happening. We do 8 a.m. just because we have two Eastern teams, and we have to, that's 9 for them, so any later would be rough. 8:30, they start they do script practice, and they lead generate till 11 o'clock. It's a non-negotiable. They're there Monday through Thursday. They get Fridays off. If they're way behind their goal and they're in warning zone, they have to be there Thursday or Friday. I cannot stress lead generation environment enough. Like, we do it every day, and that's why we put up the numbers we put up. That's why we grow what we grow. That's why we have our market. That's why we have so much market share. It's because it works. I guarantee you there's other ways that work, but scaling this fast, and if you don't have a lead generation environment, it's going to be really hard. I don't know how you're going to trust people to do it on their own. You're not. And you want to hear them. You want to hear what they say, and we make it fun. We have like little bells sitting in if you get an appointment, you ding the bell. We run little contests. Like, we make it a fun environment, so it's not like stale all the time. They'll be like, okay, we're hitting FSBOs today. So they put all the FSBOs up. Everybody starts dialing through. Hey, we're hitting this today. Hey, we're going to go door knock. Like, we change it up so that it doesn't feel stale. But it's like, they just have to get used to it. So this is their number. And then our virtual assistant, they input all their numbers into, you can do it into command. We use CTE just because it's a better team function for us. They get their scorecard from their virtual assistant at the end of every week. That way Monday, whoever their leader is can coach them on where they're at on their scorecard. And there's no excuses around numbers. This takes the emotion out of that conversation if you're their leader, because numbers don't lie. right? I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's like, how do I, as the leader, know what they need help on? How do I know if it's a scripting issue? How do I, if their appointments are huge and their contracts, their pendings are low, what's going on? Like, Christine and I were talking about, like, do they not know how to write a good contract? Like, what do we need to do to make them get the deal? Like, if they don't report numbers to you, how do you even know what to say to them? You know, other than them just giving you your word, well, everybody always wants to look good. Everybody's always going to tell you what you want to hear, but this takes all the emotion out of the conversation, right? And it helps, since we have so many, like, I worry about people. So this is Denise's, you can see, that's her monthly income on a team and a 40% split, 30K.
They probably can't see that.
Okay.
It says her income for April is $29,438.
Yeah, and she's on a team, and this is what I tell my teammates is, you're netting 40%. The business is netting, it depends on what level you're at, but for a while, our business was netting about 25 to 31. You're netting more on the deal than I am as the team owner. So when we can have those conversations, my retention is so much better because people aren't so worried about splits. They're like, wow, I don't have any expenses and I'm netting 40%. Duh. Like, I mean, that's what I'm saying is, but you got to be open with your teammates. You got to show them what they're netting so they get it. Most people just don't understand financials. So I want to know too, like, if what, like, she made $1,900 in January, $29,000 in April. I went to her in January, was like, girl, are we gonna be able to pay our bills? We got 5 kids. She got 5 kids. By the way, this girl got 5 kids. She's opening up in territory. She just had a baby, and she's a beast. She is a beast. And I got her. She was working at a factory and waiting tables at night, and I scouted her because I knew her. She was a couple years older than me in high school, and I thought, wait staff don't mind the crazy schedule. And I came from the beer industry, and they don't mind the Saturdays or the late nights, right? It's corporate America that has the hardest time with our career because they don't want to work past 5 o'clock, you know? So those are the people that I always try to recruit. They just take longer. We got to get out of the instant. Another thing with team building is that, and I'm teaching Kelsey this right now because she went from doing 100 units, and I'm trying to teach her how to build businesses. She wants like instant, like you want instant money. And when you're building a team, it's not instant money. It's not instant gratification. So you have to change your mindset because you're building a business. If you want instant money, you got to go sell houses. And so you got to look at the long game. And I think makers have a hard time with that because we get bored and we get like, it's just boring. It's boring growing because you're like, is it even growing? Like, this seems like so slow, but consistency is boring, but consistency leads to success. And so you've got to keep just doing the motions. There's my phone number and my email. If y'all need anything, you can ask me on this, and then I'll open up for questions. I'm on this panel on Friday called Mamapreneurs. My coach is having it. So anybody that wants, what? Isn't it cute? I wanted to know. So if y'all want to get on this, these ladies,
Jack is gonna be on and he's gonna host.
okay. If you want to be a future mom, or you're a stepmom, or a mom, or
Doggy mom.
dog mom, I don't care, but these women are like all different, and my coach is having it. Let's connect at rise.com. It's on my Facebook page if y'all want to go watch it. I've never met any of these women, but I'm sure they're amazing. What?
That's great.
Any questions?
No, it was really good.
Okay. I can't believe my voice stuck. I hope you got something from it.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.